guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this brief yet very entertaining email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy. He's in his late 40s, and he's going to share his story of how he went on a first date just last night, because this email came in this morning, and how he was able to use what he learned from my work, as well as obviously life experience and other channels, to help definitely handle the situation right and to screen the girl to what she really is all about. You're going to see, guys, that she ended this date not too happy with him because she was hoping to get a free meal from a guy that she clearly had no interest in. But because this guy knew darn well to stick to the one drink rule on the first date, he walked out of there with very little expense and money spent on this thing while she didn't get her way. And as you guys recall, if you've seen the videos, there are women out there, they call these things foodie calls, like food, where the women will go out and get with guys they have no interest in whatsoever just to get a free meal. And some have this down to a science where they'll take guys that are desperate to get a girl to pay attention to them. They'll spend all this money in these very fancy, expensive dinners, and these guys are at hundreds of dollars, and they never hear from the girl again. And there are gals that do this many times a week. If not some, I've heard every day of the week. It's crazy. But if guys stick to that one drink rule, they're going to see real quick if the girl is into them for them or for the actual free meal. It's a good screening process. But I'm going to get into more of that as I go on at the end of the story here to get into the teaching part of this story, but you'll find this funny. Oh, and by the way, I know a bunch of you guys are wondering where I've been for the last week because I haven't done a whole lot of videos. I was away out in San Diego visiting family for a very long week and had a lot of fun out there seeing them and seeing some good sights. And that's why, and I only had a few videos to do while I went to publish while I was there. I recorded before. I wanted to get some serious relaxation time before I come back and go balls to the walls of videos as I'm going to begin starting today up until the end of the year. But anyhow, it's good to be back. So, he starts off his story. He says here, "Good morning, SSM. I just wanted to write to you and tell you about an experience with an online date that I had last night. I met a girl last night who I've been talking to for a few days off of Facebook dating. I told her over the phone that we would meet for a drink. Let's make this clear. He made it abundantly clear we'll meet for a drink. One drink. No confusion. I got to the bar about 20 minutes early, ordered my happy hour drink, paid for it, and showed up on time. And she showed up on time at 6:30 p.m. All right, I'll give her credit. She showed up on time. How often does that happen? She then ordered her drink. We talked for about 40 minutes, and then the bartender asked if we wanted another drink. I replied that I'm sorry, I only have time to stay for one drink because I had a presentation I need to work on for the work the next day. One drink, see? And he's off. I could tell that my date was a little flustered. She got her card out for a few minutes and then put it back in her purse. About 10 minutes later, she then indicated that she wanted to get food and told her that she did not want to cook at home. She then said that I could leave if I wanted, which I did. I thanked her for meeting me and left on my way. She obviously wanted me to pay for drinks and food, which I did not. She had some extra pounds on her, so I really wasn't that disappointed. I'll get back to that in a minute. I work out, I stay in shape, I'm nearly 50 years old, and I feel that I should have an equal. Short and sweet, last night cost me only $6 for my drink and tip, and I did not get taken advantage of thanks to listening to your advice and watching your videos. Please share this on your channel if you like. Thanks again for your help." So, there you go. One drink only, guys. He gets there. Let me backtrack a second. The reason I say the whole one drink rule is because if you meet a girl, say a lot of guys meet them through dating apps. He said through Facebook something. I forget specifically what it was. She could look pretty in the picture, right? We've all been there. And then you show up and she looks like freaking Sloth from Goonies, okay? If you arrange to make a full dinner with her, you're sitting there at the table with a gal that you have zero attraction for, okay? She could be the coolest girl in the world, but looks-wise, you're like, oh, Jesus. This is why you do one drink, because then you can take one look at her, and if you're actually nice enough, you can stay for the drink, even though you have no attraction for her, and be like, well, I have to get going. I got an early morning at work tomorrow, or I got a meeting, or I don't know what. and you're on your way. But if a guy then arranges to have a full big dinner with her, he's stuck there at the table with her, yapping with a gal that he has zero traction for 45 minutes, hour, or longer. And not to mention that the likelihood is he's paying for it. All this money for a girl he's zero traction for, even though she looked good on the dating apps. Or let's just say that he meets her and she is good looking like she is in the dating apps, her pictures that she sent you and all that, but her personality is shit. You don't like her personality, and then you're stuck with her again for all that time. But if it's one drink, no problem. You're in, you're out. Or so much as that you meet for a drink and you take one look at her and you see her coming and you're not all attracted to her and she says, "Oh, are you Bill?" And you're like, "Nope." And you keep on walking. And also, guys, I want to point out what he did here and pay attention to this. He got there ahead of time, bought his own drink, his own beer, I'm guessing, paid for it, and then she showed up. Because if he would have got there at the same time as her and whipped out his credit card and got that beer, she could have been like, down the menu and order the most expensive glass of wine for $37 or some $37 Merlot or Cabernet on the menu, and you're paying for it. Or even if he got there on time and left his card out for the open tab, she could come out there, oh, $37 glass of Merlot or Cabernet, and yes, those are in existence, trust me, and then proceed that goes on his bill. And then she wants to order something. He went there ahead of time, got his drink, paid for it, card back in his wallet, had his drink, and when she shows up, she can take care of herself. Now, there are those that would say that's taking it a bit too far and extreme, but I'm sure there are many of you guys that understand where I'm coming from. I've been there, where you leave that card, the open tab, and next thing you know, that drink, pay for it ahead of time. That's what he did. And he got to see her true colors. She was hoping to get multiple drinks out of this, a full-on meal. He said she's got extra pounds on her, so obviously she doesn't eat any more food. But right down in there, and I'm sure he's never going to hear from her. And he could tell because this guy he's almost 50 years old, so I'm sure he understands body language and human dynamics. He could see by her actions and her behavior that she was not happy how this thing went down. Okay, she was hoping to get a free meal. And this guy says, he works out, takes care of himself. I'm sure he's probably above average looking, especially if he works out and takes care of himself. But still, for her, just another guy that could pay the bill, and she can go eat out and have a lot of food and not have to pay a damn dime, because a lot of guys would. This is exactly what this shows you, that how you can do a screening process. Okay, to see if they are actually there to be with you and they like you versus just using you. Because believe me, if he made it clear, you heard, that we're going to meet up for a drink. One drink, not a full-on dinner. But she was probably hoping he would change his mind, as a lot of guys would. Or he'd cave. He didn't, which is awesome. And so $6. He got to have his beer and all that. And so he really only just lost 40 minutes of his time. Not the end of the world. And if it was a place he enjoyed, okay, fine. As opposed to hundreds of dollars. So guys, one drink only. And yes, there could be times where you meet the girl and she's pretty and you like her personality and you're thinking, maybe I should break the rule because she's good looking and maybe I can get some and I'll shell out a few $100s, and then you never hear from her again. Okay, stick to that one drink rule, because if she likes you, you'll hear from her again. Okay, but the typical nice guy is never going to do this because he's so afraid of missing the shot, because he doesn't really get girls to pay attention to him and go on a date with him. He's going to shell out all this money, and then he never hears from her again. And I'm sure there's many of you who've been in that situation. So good job for this guy that wrote this in, and guys, perfect lesson there. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. I told you it was a quick one, but I think it was a very good, important example of how this works and what you should do. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Give this guy some praise in the comment section for sticking to his guns, sticking to the rules. And I might add that he'll keep doing this thing, but eventually, because this guy obviously does dating and all that, he'll meet a girl that likes him too, isn't there to get a free meal out of him, and it would be, okay, we'll meet up again for next time, maybe for drink and appetizers if she likes his personality and everything like that, and there you go. But this is a great way, like I said, to make sure that you don't get used, because a lot of guys will. And also, guys, you got a great story like to share, by all means, email to me, strongsuccessfulmail@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it. I definitely will. This guy was an exception because literally I logged into my email this morning and he was right there at the top, and he had a headline about a Foodie date that went wrong or something like that, so it caught my eye. That's why he got bumped up. It's rare, but he got lucky. Right place, right time. But for the rest of you guys, send me your stories, give me time, and if they're good ones, I'll definitely cover them down the road. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.